Hi, Miles here. In an earlier video, I spoke about cash offers from corporations. This is a sequel to that video, and the reason I'm doing this is we had kind of an unusual situation. Typically, these corporations, the one you see on TV and so forth, they will go directly to the homeowner, no agent involved. Well, they've got their agent representing them, but nobody's representing the homeowner. We had a unique situation where we had a property actively listed on the market. We were representing the homeowner and they approached us to make an offer. So we actually went through, and I want to let you know what happened. So if you happen to be in this situation, you know what to look out for and what to do. The first thing we ran into is they have an addendum. An addendum is important in real estate because if you have certain terms or language in a contract, for example, we're closing on Tuesday, then you have an addendum that says something different, we're closing on Friday. Well, the official contractually obligation right here, that's the addendum. You have to file that. So the addendum says close on Friday, it doesn't say close on Tuesday. You have to file the addendum. That's why addendum is important in real estate. So we advised this firm that our client may want to consult an attorney to review their addendum. And the response was, oh, of course, go ahead and do it. However, they said they want a response back by end of business. So in all practicality, they were not allowing our client to have an attorney review this because they simply didn't give them enough time to do it. So all throughout the transaction, there was a little bit of pushing around, bullying. Of course, we didn't take this, but it seems like that's the way they do businesses. You got to do this our way, our time, or it's not going to happen. The second thing that we ran into is the offer they initially made was low. We negotiated the offer up. It seems like typically they don't expect to have counter offers. It's just kind of a take it or leave it situation. And they didn't really like that. It was clearly evident based upon their responses and their language that they were not happy with the fact that we did counter their offer. And guess what? They came up. So I would recommend doing that. The other thing we negotiated is we negotiated for them to pay all the closing costs. So in the contract, it actually says in there, we're going to use their title company to pay all the closing costs, and they verbally agreed to this. They agreed to this in email, so everybody's fine. We said, okay, we want an addendum specifically stating that you're going to pay all of our clients' closing costs. At this point, they were very unhappy. They didn't want to do it. They refused to do it. We went on for several days, and we finally negotiated for them to sign an addendum. And this is important. I'll get to this later. Now, they did the home inspection. Of course, they found items. We negotiated that as well. We got items removed because they're frivolous. They didn't really affect the value of the home. There was one major item that did affect the value of the home. However, we negotiated that down as well, so we put our seller in a very good position. Now, when it came to the closing, they sent us a settlement statement, and the settlement statement had about $4,000 worth of closing costs for our seller to pay. Now, that's why we specifically negotiated this. And they came back and said, we don't pay closing costs, and it's in our addendum that we don't pay closing costs. Well, when they negotiated saying, oh yeah, no problem, we pay all the closing costs, when in actual fact, the addendum, their addendum says they won't do that. We know that, we read it, so that's why we had a separate addendum done stating specifically they will pay all, in capital letters, all of our sellers' closing costs. So they made up various excuses. We didn't sign this, we didn't see this, and went back and forth and consulted their attorney, their management, and guess what? 24 hours later, they agreed to pay all the closing costs. And that was a significant amount of money, $4,000. And to be honest with you, it was somewhat deceptive because when we did negotiate, they verbally said they would pay all the closing costs. However, the document, the addendum that they wanted our client to sign specifically said they wouldn't do that. So we got verbally one thing and then addendum another thing. That's why we specifically did our own addendum paying closing costs. So if you do get yourself in a situation, my recommendation to you is, and I'm not an attorney, is you may want to consult an attorney to review their addendum to make sure you know exactly what you're getting into. You also may want to contact a real estate agent, to find out what's the value? Are they lowballing your home, or you may want to have somebody look at the inspection report, but I definitely would consult and get some expert advice, and I wouldn't let these guys bully you around. And make sure you're doing an informed decision before you go under contract. And if you don't like what you're getting and you're in the inspection period, you can cancel. You may want to cancel. But if you do have any questions, please let us know. We're here to help you.